guys, sorry, sorry I yelled. But hey guys, so this is what if Spider-Man was in Young Justice Part 5. Now, I just did Part 5 to What If Danny Phantom was in Young Justice a day ago, or yesterday. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys like and subscribe. And let's just dive right in. Now, before this video goes on, I actually, last Part 5, I did multiple what ifs because I wanted to get a lot done in that what if and get into more of the juicier episodes throughout the series. Now for this one, I'm basically going to be doing what was it? For this what if, I'm basically going to be doing I'm just going to be doing the same thing. I'm going to be doing episode 14, 15, 16, then 17. So yeah. So I'm going to be doing those episodes. I might, at episode 16, I might stop there. But if I have a little bit more energy, I might do half of 15. So yeah, let's just dive right into it. If you haven't seen part 4, go watch it. And part 4, Peter did get a slight suit upgrade. He just changed the color of his suit and made it a little bit more durable. And this is what it looks like now. It's more vibrant blue and a way more lighter red. Now let's get into it, guys. Now basically, we'll start our story off, episode 14, where we see the beginning of episode 14. The beginning of episode 14 begins with pretty much him in a city. Basically, us seeing a woman get attacked by some sort of giant plant. The plant grows into a humongous plant monster and starts to wreak havoc on the city. Pretty much crushing police cars, throwing cars like freaking tennis balls, and just straight up destroying the city. As we see this happening unfold, we see from afar the injustice, or pretty much the Injustice Society, or the Reverse Justice League, basically are causing all of this, alongside the help of Joker, Black Adam, Poison Ivy, Vertigo, and many others. A couple others. Now basically we get hit with that Fire Season 1 intro after that whole entire shindig. And we basically get introduced to Mount Justice, October 1st. Now we see Aqualad and Robin training, and also us seeing Peter and Wally training. Now as Wally's throwing punches and kicks, pretty much Peter starts to dodge most of the attacks, him shooting webs at Wally's face. Wally dodges them super speed style and punches Peter, but Peter uses his fire sense to dodge it, and pretty much it gets switched on to Artemis, Superboy, McGann, and Wolf showing up. Now as we see this happening, we pretty much see the rest of the team, Shazam and Shantara, the magic user, is there, alongside Batman showing up through a boom tube, him showing off the news in Metropolis City, seeing a giant plant wreaking havoc there. Us seeing the Justice League and Superman, Wonder Woman, and people like those are pretty much fending off the plants, trying to keep them at bay. Now basically, Batman tells them about what happened here, about how the plants have trace DNA, or trace particles of the Venom toxin. Basically the same toxin the team discovered at pretty much Drop Zone episode, I think, 5. Now basically, or in part 2 of this what if. Now basically, we pretty much see the team is told this, and pretty much Peter gives off the same information Robin would have. Basically, Peter being a techless himself and him being pretty smart himself. Now basically, the team is given their same mission, and from that point on, basically they're sent to, they're given their mission after the whole entire event of Joker and the Injustice Society, or the Injustice. So I just like saying society after it, because it just makes it feel better. But yeah, so basically the Injustice pretty much shows themselves as pretty much behind all this, including the Joker being a part of their team alongside, Black Adam, Vertigo, and the rest of them. Basically, them being shown to, pretty much be. Basically, the recording goes on as original, basically saying that if you wish to save your cities, a ransom of 10 billion US dollars is required. I mean, 10 billion US dollars? I mean, sheesh. Sheesh, bro. Not even real terrorists ask for that much money. I mean, sheesh, bro. Basically, Vertigo, the leader of this team, I presume, basically gives off, These are the instructions. Now, there's no time limit, but the longer your countries wait, the more havoc pursues. And basically, Joker giving a funny remark afterwards. Now, basically, we see pretty much Robin reverse the pretty much tapes him saying all the members of these villains, the names of the villains: Ultra Humanite, Atomic Skull, Vertigo, Black Adam, Poison Ivy, and also Wotan. Wotan. I think the match user of this team, Wotan. Now, I'm probably gonna forget Atomic Skull, Wotan, and I think the Gorilla. I'm probably just gonna narrate him or say him as Gorilla or Atomic Skull and Wotan. I'm probably not gonna forget their names, but yeah. So basically, let's just continue. Now, after Robin says that they have 7 big hitters on their team, this is gonna be a really hard challenge for the Justice League. Basically, they're given their same mission to go after the Injustice and basically, well, take them out or pretty much take care of them. As the Justice League keeps up appearances and pretty much takes down the plants and pretty much keeps them down or keeps them at bay so they don't cause more havoc. Now, Zantara, Shazam, and Batman are resonated to Gotham City to pretty much save it. Santana uses a magic spell on a hologram map to basically find out where the main tower, the main place the Injustice Society could be. Them giving the right coordinates and then pretty much going. Now, they would go on for their mission. And basically, we would see pretty much Spidey watching from afar off from cameras about the whole situation that was happening in Gotham City. Like Joker being shown to have some sort of the plants having some sort of weapon in them. Basically, them having sports that release Joker venom. Basically, them being poisoned, or pretty much the firefighters that jumped in being poisoned as soon as these sports went off. Basically, them laughing to death. Now, after we see this, we pretty much see Joker controlling everything with some sort of tech gloves that can control the plants. Now, pretty much Poison Ivy sympathizes with the plants and they're kind of getting, consumed by the technology. Now, we pretty much see them going on with their same plan. Basically, us seeing from far, pretty much the team getting in their, mission. And basically, basically Aqualad being as was in the duffel bag by Wally as they're in the bioship. Basically, what was it? Basically, sorry guys. Basically, sheesh, bro, I forgot. Plan B. Basically, Plan B would be the plan to pretty much, go against Wotan. Basically, Plan B being, the last resort. And basically, in this version, Plan B would be the same plan. You'll figure out later on in the episode. Now, basically, we see the rest of the team pretty much as, Megan, what's going on. Because Megan says she's feeling sick. Basically, her going on about how I'm not feeling sick. Bioship is. Us seeing out of the perspective of Bioship, we see Vertigo hitting Bioship, making her sick, and making the ship woozy. As the ship is, flying more down and the cloaking mechanism has failed, basically we see Black Adam jump in, super punching the bottom of Bioship, sending it flying down to the swamp. As we see this happening, the swamp or the plants start to drag down Bioship as Black Adam tries to rip over Bioship and get inside. As he tries to do this, Connor sucker punches him in the face, hitting him off of Bioship, and Bioship covers the hole up, but not in time before pretty much the water starts to spill in. Bioship makes a hole underneath itself, basically letting the rest of the team able to swim out. Peter swimming out as well, him having a built-in oxygen mask, the same thing Robin and Artemis used in his mask. Now basically they swim out, and basically we see that they get out of the they get out of the water. We see seeing Bioship get dragged down. Basically, when they look at this, they get interrupted by Black Adam and Vertigo. As we see the team fight back against Black Adam, basically we see the team fight against Black Adam and Vertigo. And then pretty much seeing that Black Adam is straight up just folding them. We get switched to the rest of Gotham City, and basically us seeing shown of Paris, a scene show Martian Manhunter and Green Lantern. What was it? Aquaman and Martian Manhunter, pretty much saving people and keeping the plants at bay. Pretty much one of the places at a power plant, the plants are causing havoc. When we see the power plant gets destroyed and energy or pretty much toxic or gamma radiation starts to pour out of it, a scene pretty much Captain Atom show up and absorb the radiation, stopping it from spreading and causing more havoc. And basically, we can switch to Star City, Gotham City, Metropolis. All sorts of havoc starts to happen. Now, basically, as this happens, we pretty much see multiple people on the Justice League keeping up appearances and saving people's lives. Now, as you see the rest of the team, after they start to go back to fight Black Adam, some of them get captured, but in this version, basically Peter doesn't get captured alongside Robin and Artemis. Now, basically, us seeing Peter's flee away. Now, basically, Peter pretty much, is in his stealth mode now. Peter is basically in his stealth suit, a stealth suit that's similar to his past symbiote suit. Now, I think near the end of this part, we're gonna see Venom. And basically, we pretty much see the rest of the team going into the swamp, basically trying to figure out what's the source of everything. Them getting to the them getting to the source or the head, pretty much place where the team is. Now, pretty much we see Megan and Robin and Spidey get spotted by Poison Ivy and Gorilla. Basically, Gorilla tries to shoot Robin, pretty much began, but Peter breaks out of the plants, basically sucker punching Poison Ivy in the face and webbing the gun of Gorilla. Now, pretty much Megan makes it so she pretty much uses her telepathic abilities to break out of the vines that are holding her and Robin. Basically, Robin running off and pretty much McGann also running off. And Peter keep on fighting Gorilla. Basically, him punching devastating blows towards Gorilla's gut and face, pushing it backwards. In this canon scene, since Megan doesn't really have isn't really occupied with Gorilla, she flies into the base, facing through the wall, and going for Joker. Joker fights back, slicing her and stabbing Megan in the stomach, Megan falling down to the ground. Joker about to finish what he started. Before he can do anything else, basically, we get switched to the rest of the team. Pretty much, the rest of the team making it so that they get freed. And basically, pretty much, them getting freed the same way. And they got out. Basically, them jumping down and Superboy getting into the building as as Joker's on top of Megan, has his knee on Megan's throat, about to slice her or stab her in the stomach. And basically, we see Connor dropkick Joker into the sky. And basically, us seeing the team, fight back against the injustice. And basically, Spidey pretty much has to, just defeats Gorilla off the bat, since he's fought people way more stronger than Gorilla. Since he's fought Venom, Dr. Rock, also multiple other villains because he has more experience. And basically, we see Wally tries to go up against Vertigo, but he gets slowly, attacked because he can't really go up against Vertigo's blast, and also he can't really go up against the strength of Black Adam. Now, basically, as a team is winning, basically we see the plant start to get burned up by pretty much explosives planted by Robin, and the plant is exploded. Basically, as seen, Joker is already knocked out, and Megan is already healed because Martians do have a slight healing factor. Now, basically, we see Atomic Skull go up against the rest of the team, him shooting a laser beam at Robin. Robin dodges it. We shortly see Joker miraculously gets back up. Sorry, guys. I can't know why I'm not talking, but basically, we see him get back up. Joker, being kind of angry about how how the plan is going down the drain. The whole plan is going down the drain. Now, we see Black Adam and Connor start the fight, and basically, we get switched back to Artemis going up against Vertigo. Vertigo about to take her out, but as Vertigo's doing that, Speedy jumps in. Basically, Peter taking a blast instead of Wally. Basically, Wally drop kicking Vertigo in his face, kicking him into a tree. And as we see this, we pretty much see out of nowhere electricity starts to blast out. And basically seeing electricity go everywhere, basically pinning the rest of the team down. Pretty much it being caused by none other than, well, Joker. That basically, as is happening, basically, or not Joker, I mean Vardo or Wavo. I don't remember the magic user. He pretty much Aqualad is able to absorb most of the energy with his Atlantean powers, but he activates Plan B. Him about to pit on the Doctor Fate helmet. Basically, Wally Scene is saying, "Don't do it." Basically, before he could do anything else, him getting sucker punched by Black Adam. As Aqualad pits on the helmet, or is about to, Spidey jumps in and says, "Sorry, I can't let you do that." Him hitting the helmet on, well, his head. Him pretty much coming to Fate, him being Fate. Now, basically, we see Fate uses Spider-Man's increased strength and also, past, past acts of magic throughout his life, since he did in this canon. Peter did have that, short amount of time of him in the Ultimate Universe, him still being able to, him being, the Sorcerer Supreme at one point. Basically, we see, Peter go on to fight against pretty much, well, the magic user. And throughout the rest of the fight goes exactly the same, since Peter wouldn't be changing it. But Aqualad would be down there, so he would be helping the rest of the team. Him pretty much going up against Gorilla, since Gorilla got back up. Now, basically, you see the fight go somewhere exactly the same until the Justice League starts to show up. And we see the Justice League shows up, and pretty much, well, the Injustice is forced to give up. Us seeing the Joker tries to, do a Joker gas against the team, but it gets stopped. Basically, pretty much it being stopped, or him being punched in the face by Batman, and the gas being stopped by Spidey or Dr. Fate. Now, as this happens, pretty much he's sitting there, he's standing there, and basically the same thing happens, and he's able to be free from the clutches of Dr. Fate. Him saying that Dr. Fate gave me another chance, and pretty much about how he still has his fate. He still has his fate, and he still lets his fate be in your hands, Wally. Him giving the helmet back to Wally. And basically after that, we get switched off to the end of the episode, where we see pretty much the light reveal itself to basically, well, watch what the Injustice did. And then we pretty much get introduced who the light is. Now, basically, guys, let's switch on to episode 15. Let's get into it. Now, we switch to the beginning of the episode, pretty much us seeing the water and fire androids from the beginning, from the last couple episodes later. Basically, seeing the fire and robot androids Peter, Artemis, and Robin went up against. Basically, us seeing that, well, us seeing that the scientist there that created the robot and water android is working on pretty much Red Tornado, trying to figure out what makes him tick. Now, basically, we get switched to the rest of the team for us seeing that Wally's arm is broken, and pretty much Wally being tended to all of his needs by pretty much Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel literally gawking over Wally. Him literally kissing up to anything Wally wants. And basically, as we see this happen, basically see Santana show up. Us seeing Satara, the male version, him also introducing Santara, pretty much the new member of the team. And basically, we see Peter isn't really that interested. And basically, Peter, saying hi to Santara, him being friendly, how Peter always is. Peter's a nice guy. And basically, as you see this, Peter is actually unmasked now. Basically, we see Peter not in his cell suit, sorry. And pretty much Peter, introduces himself alongside the rest of the team. Basically, Wally introducing himself, and him, all the rest of the team introducing themselves. As they're doing the same sidekick, argument or talk about, Red Tornado, basically the rest of the episode goes similarly the same. Basically, them going throughout the rest of the episode, us seeing basically, well, the rest of the team showing a tour or about to show a tour to Zendaya or Santara. Us seeing shown that pretty much, well, she gets introduced, basically her saying, "You're not going on a tour, aren't we?" Basically, them giving up the jig that they're going to find Red Tornado. Pretty much her saying that I'll go along, and pretty much Artemis saying, "Are you sure the new girl wouldn't snitch?" Miss Girl saying, I can't snitch if you kidnap me." Basically, them taking her along. Now, basically, we see on Bioship then they fly away from the cave. But we can switch back to Captain Marvel trying to teach Wolf how to fetch. But it doesn't really go that way. Now basically we can switch to the rest of the episode where we see the bioship fly off. Now they get called by Black Canary. Black Canary saying I didn't, mission or commit a, bioship departure. Basically her saying we're showing Cynthia Happy Harbor. Basically Black Canary saying, or pretty much Cynthia saying I did not, allow her to. But basically Black Canary goes on about how they're good kids, trustworthy kids. Basically her walking off. Now you see the rest of the team starts to talk the same way. Basically, pretty much, Peter instead of Robin saying that we need a truly, dumb answer or dumb, dumb plan. Pretty much we start eyeing down Wally, and Wally says, "I got one." Basically, us getting switched back to the scientist, him finishing up with the Red Tornado. Now, as we see this happen, she does the same backstory about how the fire and water android came to be. About both of them were leading heroes in the first, age of heroes, like alongside, pretty much the fire android being a female member of the Justice Society. Also, the water android being a hero or being a depressed hero, if you can say it. And basically, us getting switched to pretty much Red Tornado about he was a member of the Justice Society, the American Justice Society, I guess the Justice Society of America. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. And basically, we get switched to the rest of the team interrogating Toyman. Basically, them asking Toyman questions. Now Peter, basically, just in the background, and basically, pretty much says, I got something. I got something. Basically, him telling the rest of the team to get out of the room, and the lights go dark. Basically, Peter being in his stealth suit, his symbiote type stealth suit. Him basically going all symbiote, going all like Back in Black Spider-Man. Basically, him grabbing on Toyman, saying, "Tell me what you know." Him basically scaring the literal nuggets out of Toyman. Basically, throwing him against the walls, banging him up against the table, and beating the absolute doo-doo water out of him. Basically, he eventually cracks and tells them what they need to know, and them getting the same information they got original. Now, basically, it gets switched back to the scientist, him pretty much starting on a new android buck, him pretty much initiating a new project of his, basically being shown a new android, an android that has all the abilities of Red Tornado, Fire Android, and Water Android. Basically, the android being a combination of basically, their powers, the ability to control lava and rock. Now, basically, we pretty much see the doctor start up his project, but we see the project or the android kills the doctor, us seeing that the doctor is fake and it's some sort of android. Now, basically, he rips the android apart, and basically he becomes the new leader or controller, if you can say that. Now I get switched to the rest of the team showing up in the bioship at the area or at the mountain, basically where they're hiding. And pretty much we get switched to Zendaya talking about her powers or whatever. Them talking the same way, but Zendaya actually asking Peter about his. Now Peter's still in stealth suit, basically him getting out of it since he doesn't really like the whole entire aesthetic of the symbiote suit. So it brings back some memories he doesn't want to have. As he gets switched into his more iconic, brighter colored version of his original suit, and basically we see pretty much Peter, pretty much just sit there. Us getting switched to the rest of the team, basically, or pretty much not the rest of the team. Basically, us getting switched to pretty much the android gets off a plan to pretty much destroy all or get rid of all of humanity by some sort of lava or pretty much volcano that will send a shockwave all around the world, a lethal one, all around the world, killing most of all of human civilization, making it so that only technology will be left. Now, basically, we get switched back to Belle Rave, where Toyman is, in an arm cast, and basically he's telling, pretty much the new owner of Belle Rave about his whole entire thing, whatever. Now we get switched back to pretty much the androids talking the same way. them having the same conversation. Now, we see the team gets switched into their stealth outfit. Basically, Peter saying, I didn't know we were going to go stealth this time, but whatever. Him pressing his Spider logo and him getting into his stealth suit. As we see him getting his stealth suit, we pretty much see the rest of the team see Sentei use her magic to basically conjure up a suit or a magic assistant type outfit. Basically, her suit. Now, basically, we see the team, get into action. Them, going towards the pretty much mountains. A scene Red Tornado is sent to deal with them by the new android. Now, basically, we see Red Tornado shows up, basically fighting the team and pretty much actually dogging all of them. Him actually winning the fight or winning. Now, basically, we see Peter jump up into the sky, trying to web Red Tornado, but the wind friction is making his webs flop around. Basically, his webs getting hit against his team members, him webbing up Megan and Connor. Connor breaks through the webs pretty easily, and Megan basically, rips through the webs a little bit more harder because she can't really break them that easily. But we see Connor and Aqualad try to fight Red Tornado, but Red Tornado straight up Goku punches Aqualad in the face, sending him flying. Now we see McGann, pretty much the rest of the team starts to get just straight up forward. Now, pretty much Wally uses his little speedster abilities to basically make a mini speedster cyclone going up against Red Tornado. But Red Tornado grabs her fist after Megan tries to come up behind Red Tornado and chucks her right towards Wally, stopping Wally with his miniature speedster cyclone. As Sentei is trying to make magic, as she's speaking, she gets choked out by Red Tornado, her getting thrown to the ground. As this is happening, we see Peter's only one left, and Peter throws a crazy amount of athletics and pretty much speed towards Red Tornado. Red Tornado gets punched multiple times, and eventually half of his cape gets ripped off. And basically, Peter using it as kind of a shielding thing, him putting it over Red Tornado's face and trying to keep him down. That's when Red Tornado throws him off of him hitting his head against the pretty much, pillar the other android made, basically making it so that, Peter falls down to the ground next to his teammates. We see the other android is about to kill the team, basically him using his rock manipulation to fight against them. They get back up and they start the fight against pretty much dodging more attacks from the other android. Now as the fight progresses, we see Red Tornado flies off and we see pretty much the other android go up against them. Now as we see this team, as we see Wally tries to go up against the other android, he gets sucker punched and gets thrown away. Basically, the android using his rock manipulation in crazy and cool ways, him basically just taking down the team in a matter of minutes, or him giving the team a hard time. But basically, as Artemis and pretty much Aqualad fell into a rock quiver the android made, instead of Artemis saving herself, we see Peter coming clutch using his webs to pull them back out of the rock crater or the rock crevices. Him webbing towards the other android. The other android making a rock wall right in front of Peter. Peter punched through the wall pretty easily, since Peter been able to punch through walls and buildings pretty easily throughout his history of being Spider-Man. Him swinging towards pretty much the other android, him punching him in the shins, throwing him in the face, and just throwing him around. But we see that he throws a web in the android's face the same way that Centauro was used her magic against his face. Basically, Peter getting kicked off of him. Basically, the android getting angry and shooting laser beams out of his eyes. Him grabbing Peter by the neck and basically throws him into the ground. Peter starts to get pummeled over and over and over and over. Peter grabbing more punches and fighting back. And as Peter's fighting back, we see Peter gets thrown down to the ground even more vigorously and starts to get pummeled down to the ground. As Peter gets back up, we see that Peter is straight up at the same state as Tobey Maguire Spider-Man at the end of the fight against Sandman, Venom, and pretty much, Green Goblin. I mean, not Green Goblin. Sorry guys, I forgot what his name was. Venom, Sandman, and a third villain. I think it was a third villain. I don't really remember. Now, basically, we pretty much see that his suit, his stealth suit is all ripped up, and he has blood coming out of his nose and his mouth, and his eye is bleeding. Basically, him being pummeled more and more. The team steps in, saving Peter, and as Peter is pretty much grabbed by the back of the outfit alongside Megan as well. Wally grabs both of them, cradle style, basically beating both of them at his waist. him grabbing both of them and saving both of them. Now, basically, as a team goes up against, pretty much humanity, or I mean, not humanity, but the android, the new android, even more. The other androids fight against the other android alongside Red Tornado, and they still fight in the same way. Since Peter is knocked out, the story doesn't really change that much. Us seeing that they defeat the other android the same way, submerging him in lava, us seeing that the rest of the androids aren't really built for it, and they get burned alive instead of, and pretty much Superboy jumps in, grabbing Red Tornado, stopping his, body from being burnt. And basically, we see Red Tornado redeems himself by saving the team and stopping the volcano from erupting. Now, basically, he stops it from erupting, and we get switched to him getting back in the scientist lab, him being fixed up, and basically a scene, pretty much the team apologize, or pretty much them, making things right with Red Tornado. Red Tornado apologizing for what he's done. And basically, we get switched to pretty much, the rest of the team, where we see pretty much, the rest of the team goes off, and pretty much we see, Red Tornado basically visits the original doctor, the real one that's all old and in his deathbed, basically visiting him. Now he gets switched to pretty much the rest of the team in the bioship, and pretty much Robin still shares that little moment with Zatanna, the same diff. And basically, we get switched to pretty much Peter in the back of the pretty much bioship, him thinking about what happened. And basically, him having flashbacks as he was getting punched, flashbacks about how he was being beaten up by Dr. Octopus, Venom, and multiple other villains throughout his history of being Spider-Man. But him just shaking it off. Now, basically, we have switched to episode 16, guys. Let's dive right on into it. So, basically, episode 16 pretty much fell safe. Pretty much, we start off with pretty much on the moon. Us seeing the moon's perspective on Earth. Us seeing an alien spacecraft pass the moon and going towards Earth, where we see two Green Lanterns, Guy Gardner, and I think John show up alongside Batman, I think. Yeah, Batman. Us seeing that pretty much they use Batman deploys cameras to see what's going on. Us seeing that it's a giant alien spacecraft of some sorts. Us seeing Jai and Hal, not Guy Gardner. Us seeing them two Green Lanterns watching what's going on. But they get hit with some sort of energy blast, pushing them and evaporating them. Us at our perspective, Batman seeing that they get evaporated and die, seemingly. We see the rest of the Justice League members fly out. Martian Manhunter, Captain Marvel, Superman, and Captain Atom basically go up against the alien spacecraft. But we see in our perspective, they get obliterated and destroyed the same way. Us seeing Batman's main ship get blown up, and he sees out of, pretty much he gets out of, sorry guys, I think a escape pod. And basically, we see that, the alien spacecraft deploys other pods or ships towards Earth. Basically, us seeing that another pod comes up against Batman and evaporates him as well. Us seeing that pretty much us seeing that, the internet connection between Batman and the Justice League members have been cut. Us seeing that they just went off the grid. We don't know what happened to them. They might be dead. Now, Zatanna pretty much tells Tornado, or calls Tornado, saying, did you see it? Basically, the camera footage of the whole entire event happening. Basically, Red Tornado saying, I did. And him saying we saw about everything. And basically, Satara is told by Red Tornado to engage all extraterrestrial defense mechanisms, and him saying affirmative. Him, getting off the comms. Now, we see pretty much the rest of the team ask what's going on. Red Tornado says that I will protect the Justice League and fight alongside them. But if all fails and we are gone, the responsibility is up to you. Basically, him pretty much nodded to the fact that if the last members of the Justice League die, it's all up to you guys. You're Earth's next hope. You're its next line of defense. Its last line of defense. Now, basically, Aqualad is speaking for the team, saying that we stand ready. And basically, Us getting switched on pretty much Iris West or Iris West Allen's pretty much Central City news report. We see pretty much alien ships evaporating people and pretty much taking more people's lives away, including the cameraman. Now, basically, as we see this happen, we see the cameraman gets saved and a short glimpse by Santana, and Iris West gets saved by Flash. Now, basically, we see pretty much, well, they all pretty much interconnection breaks off after pretty much Flash and Satara are talking. And basically, the interconnection breaking off, and us seeing that, well, they get evaporated at last minute by some sort of alien device. Us seeing, or us pretty much witnessing that Iris has died, or Flash and Zendaya have seemingly passed away or have been taken out by the ships. Now, basically, we see pretty much all around the world these things are taking down Justice Leaguers left and right. Black Canary, Green Arrow, Hawkman, Hawkgirl. Everybody is gone. Everybody's getting dropped left to right. Basically, us seeing in Peter's eyes saying your biggest heroes have all been taken down in a matter of days. Wonder Woman goes up against these things. She even loses. Basically, everything is going downhill. Red Tornado, Wonder Woman, everything's going crazy. But at Smallville, we see the ship embeds itself or lands on Earth. Basically, us seeing that the ship gets its hands on Red Tornado the same way. Basically, us seeing that the team from afar is watching this. Wally, Artemis, Aqualad, Connor, Megan, alongside Peter, are all watching this. We see the rest of the team watches from afar after every Justice League has been taken out. Every hero left on Earth except for them has been taken out. And pretty much Aqualad makes it clear that we're Earth's heroes now. And basically, as we see this happening, pretty much Connor says, "What are we waiting for? A theme song? We should be out there fighting." And basically, Aqualad is saying that we need a strategic plan, nothing more, never less. And basically, us seeing that they're tracking the alien or the satellites, but we see that's one red dot, and we see that it's Superman's Fortress of Solitude. And as we see this happen, we basically see that as Connor goes off saying, "Superman's a Fortress of Solitude?" Him basically walking off, scoffing, saying, I guess not. I guess I won't know as much as I thought about Superman. I guess I won't know him at all." Basically, Megan saying, "Connor." Basically, her trying to assure Connor. Now, basically, we see the rest of the team starts to get more pumped. Basically, Peter saying, "We need to do something." And basically, him saying, in my experience, this did happen once to the Avengers. And me and a couple other teenage heroes had to go up against some big villains. Now, as we see the rest of the team make their plan to the Fortress of Solitude, we see one scout ship is at the Fortress of Solitude. Now, we see all of them are in snow gear or in their winter outfits. Basically, their winter stealth outfits. Us seeing that they immobilize the ship, basically taking out its sensors and its beams. Or it's pretty much taking out the sensors, but trying to take out the beam. Seeing that the beam is pretty much the biggest, diff. Now, for Peter's winter or white suit, basically it's similar to his, stealth suit, but different. Basically, Peter has his winter suit. It's similar to his, or looks exactly similar to his pretty much negative zone suit, or his comic book negative zone suit. Him basically at this point in his history, him not having a negative zone suit yet, but basically him having a similar to this. Now, it has the same, use as the rest of the suits, mainly for keeping them warm in winter type climates from winter missions. Basically, his suit being similar to this, but the white being more of a gray. Now, basically, or the black being replaced with more of a gray type color. Now, basically, we pretty much see Peter and the rest of the team, or pretty much Connor uses his strength to pretty much immobilize Megan and Connor immobilize the pretty much sensors of the ship's things. And basically, as the ship's sensors or a secondary sensor goes out, basically it breaks up and it shoots out an energy blast that was almost gonna hit Connor, but instead of it hitting Connor, we see that it gets kicked. Connor gets swept out of the way by Peter. Basically, instead of Wolf getting hit with a blast, it's pretty much hit webbing, so pretty much Peter doesn't hit with blast, and basically Connor isn't, what was it, affected, or the wolf isn't sucked in. So yeah, so basically we get switched to pretty much Megan using Bioship to connect the pretty much, well, what was it? I'm connecting the pretty much uh blaster to Bioship. So Bioship pretty much, manifests or connects to the blaster or the part of the ship of the trooper ship. And basically the rest of the team try to keep at bay the rest of the ships. And basically one of the trooper ships, going after or landing or crashing next to Artemis. Artemis is about to get shot with one of them. And Artemis getting taken away or evaporated. Basically began, yelling out. Now we see that, well, Artemis is gone. Peter saying, "What the heck just gone? What the heck just happened?" Him basically watching Arcolad use his water manipulation to take out or to pretty much take out the other ship. Basically, him, straight up, or the rest of the team being shocked at what they just saw. Now, basically, they fly off with Bioship, it being cloaked, and pretty much the rest of the team being completely silent the rest of the mission. Them being incredibly shocked in how Artemis just died. She was blasted away. Now, basically, we see Spidey shocked at this because he still had the same type of, feelings for Artemis as the rest of the team. And he knew Artemis as well. He didn't know her, but he was friends with her. Now, pretty much, we get switched to the military, them trying to flee off or keep off the ships even more. Basically, them trying to keep the ships at bay. Now, we see their technology or their weapons aren't really helping at all. But we see Bioship suddenly follows after, dropping Connor, and Connor taking out the ships, Superman style, punching through them and taking them out. We see Bioship also takes out the other ships. And basically, us seeing that, well, Connor takes out the ship, and basically pulling it apart. And basically, as we see this happen, Connor jumps down, and basically the rest of the team showing themselves as, them. We see pretty much Connor takes out the other ship, and basically the rest of the soldiers think Connor is, Superman. Basically, one of the soldiers saying, I told you he wouldn't leave us hanging. It's Superman. Basically, one of the other soldiers saying, well, he looks a little bit too young. And also, where's your cape? Basically, Connor saying, I'm not Superman. Basically, the sergeant saying, I don't care if you're Superman, and I don't frankly even want to know. But you were the S, and you got the job done. And basically, Connor still mumbling to himself that I'm not Superman. Him saying, tell the enemy that. And basically, pretty much, Aqualad saying the same thing as well. And pretty much the rest of the episode, the rest of the pretty much place going exactly the same. Now, basically, we see Connor basically in the Hall of Justice, or the destroyed Hall of Justice, looking at the basically, scavenge or, rebel left in the Hall of Justice, seeing that most of the statues and most of the memorials are all broke down or destroyed. But we see as the statue of Martian Manhunter is destroyed, we basically see pretty much McGann starts to mourn over Martian Manhunters things, and as well, all of them presume, or basically, they think they are all dead. Now, basically, or they are dead, or they all are dead. Now, basically, we get switched to pretty much the rest of the team asking questions to Martian Manhunter about how he's alive. Connor also asking that as well. Him thinking that all of them are dead. But as they're talking, Wally figures out, or pretty much tells Robin to check out something for him. Us seeing that they find traces of Zeta Beam energy, the same thing they're using their Zeta Beams, and figures out that the blasters on the ships aren't disintegrators. They're teleporters. Basically, pretty much Wally saying, Artemis is alive. Artemis is alive. Basically, pretty much, Robin saying maybe. Basically, him saying maybe. There's no maybes. She's alive. But after talking, we see that more ships appear, or more ships come. Basically, pretty much them being flooded with pretty much attacks. That basically, as they get away, as we see Megan and Martian Manager attacked, basically we see that pretty much, what was it? We see that they pretty much do a last final draw near the pretty much entrance of the secret room of the Hall of Justice. And then basically we get seen a Zeta beam show up, basically them scanning in the team into the Zeta beam alongside Peter, Wally, Rob, and all of them. And basically, they, make a last effort to keep the aliens at bay. Then basically, Connor steps up. Basically, as Wally gets scanned up, he chucks Wally into the Zeta beam, and Wally and Aqualad stay behind to save the soldiers or to fight back. And basically, so pretty much Connor scanning in him or scanning in the soldier. And basically, him chucking the soldier in. And basically, he scans himself, and basically, he jumps in. And pretty much, we see the most of the soldiers get blasted away. And basically, Aqualad, at the last effort, trying to get a Martian Manager out there. As he throws Martian Manager in, he gets blasted away, and he gets teleported away. And basically, Aqualad getting taken. Now I guess switch to Mount Justice, where they teleported to Mount Justice, and we see that Aqualad and Wally, Superboy, and Megan, and the rest of the team try to find out some information on the alien ship and why it's here. And basically, Martian Manhunter still having a headache. And basically, pretty much them talking about the mission, about what went went down there. Now basically, we see Peter thinking about everything. Him being kind of distraught about how Aqualad was left behind, and he sacrificed himself to save Martian Manhunter. But we don't really know where they're located at. They're probably located at the ship. That's basically the same, plan they made. They made the same similar type of plan, and basically we switched outside. Pretty much us seeing that the ships are still blasting away. Now I get switched to pretty much the inside of the school, or at the school where at the school where Superboy and Megan went to. And Megan and Superboy pretty much do a pretty much transfer call all around the world, telling everybody about what's going on. Us seeing Rocket, Centea, and Artemis getting ready alongside Robin, getting ready with multiple, like a whole X-shaped utility belt, alongside the rest of the planet, telling them everything that's going on, telling them the same exact thing. Peter also jumping in and saying the same exact thing as well. Basically, pretty much they all start to cheer, I guess. As we see pretty much the, plan being executed, we pretty much see Peter walk off. Basically him saying, I need to get something real quick. Now as Peter tries to pretty much work on an experiment he's been working on ever since he came to Earth, he makes a short, gateway. Basically the portal. Him making a portal to come back to his world, him being able to activate that portal, but he seems like he can only take things away, only takes things from that universe, but nothing as big as a human, but something smaller. So basically, he uses and does coordinates and locks on a certain DNA, pretty much lock on, and basically locking on symbiote DNA, locking on Venom, and then basically the Venom symbiote is teleported to Earth. Seeing that Eddie Brock is just left there with nothing. And basically, Venom appearing right in front of, Spidey. Venom looks at Spidey and tries to run towards him, but Spidey takes the canister and puts Venom in it. Basically, him telling Venom that I need you or something, but only as a last resort. Him pretty much putting Venom in a duffel bag, a red duffel bag. A red backpack with Spider-Man logo on it. Him pinning it on Peter's back. Now Peter and the rest of the team go on with their mission, and we see that they arrive at the ship. And basically, the team being in their stealth versions of their suits, alongside Spidey being in his stealth symbiote suit. When Peter gets into his symbiote stealth suit, but not the actual symbiote, now we see Megan and pretty much, Martian Manhunter execute their plan, infiltrating the ship, phasing through the ship. Basically, us seeing that outside the ship, Megan still has her telepathic connection with Superboy. Now basically, as you see, Superboy jumps up on top of the ship, and basically making craters on top of the ship. Basically, he starts to rip the ship's, pretty much attack systems off of it, like the blasters and stuff like that. Him pretty much ripping it off of it. Basically, him causing havoc, attacking the ship, using its energy against itself. Basically, blasting the ship's energy towards the other ship, towards the ship. But we see the ship, it retaliates by sending more drones and more scavenger ships out there. We see Wally uses super speed to use a little bit of a boost to jump into the deck area where the ships are coming out of to get inside the ship, or they get inside the mothership. Now we see they start to run around infiltrating the ship, and basically them seeing that, or them trying to figure out what's going on. We also see that they get in the same way, and pretty much Peter follows them as well, Peter being with them. Now we see pretty much Peter and the rest of the team, Peter, Wally, and Robin meet up with Megan and Martian Manhunter, as we see Connor outside the ship attacking or pretty much retaliating against the people, but he gets teleported away or blasted away, basically by the ship. Basically, Megan knowing this from the Man You Touch Lost. Basically, her saying that Superboy's gone. Then basically, Wally says he's not gone. He has to be somewhere in the ship. Now, basically, we pretty much see the rest of the team get ready, and Peter says that let's go. Basically, him trying to get ready and move on to the mission. Basically, as Wally and Robin have a little bit of a disagreement. Basically, we see that Robin talks to Wally. And pretty much, Martian Manhunter comes clean saying no, Mind Touch is gone. It has no intention to save facility. He's gone. He's dead. They're all dead. Basically, Martian Manhunter revealing that our mission has no real purpose. Pretty much Wally says, no, you're wrong. The Zeta radiation proves that they're alive. Basically him yelling, but Robin assuring him that it's true. They're not alive. Robin says that he's been scanning for signals since we got inside, but they're not here. They're not here. They're dead, Wally. I'm sorry. Basically, Wally being shocked, and Peter as well. Peter also saying, "This is wrong. Hope is everywhere. You can't lose hope." And basically, Robin's saying, "We can lose hope. They're dead, Peter." And basically, Peter backing up, saying, "No, they can't. Your team. You said that hope is everywhere. That in the darkest depths, darkest trenches, even in Gotham, hope is still there. It could be hope for this world." And basically, Peter being yelled at by Robin. Robin saying, "They're dead. They're all dead. Our mission holds no purpose. We have to end this." Now, basically, pretty much, his whole entire thing, ending this is to destroy the ship. Now, they're all shocked by this, but they go on with the rest of the mission, trying to destroy the mothership. Now, we basically see they get to the core of the mothership, about to destroy it, trying to figure out a plan. Now, we see that Peter and the rest of the team go on with the, core of the ship. And as the ship has some sort of gravitational pull, it tries to pull Robin into it. But Robin and Wally get sucked in, but they get caught by Robin's web. Basically, Robin trying to pull them in. Now, as Robin's pulling them in, trying to drag them back in, he uses all of his strength to pull them back in. But we see a drone almost blast them, but it gets attacked by Megan and Martian Manhunter. As pretty much Megan, safely land. Spidey safely lands them down to the core of the ship. And basically, Peter sees that Robin, plants the explosives, and basically we see that the ship door closes. Basically, Peter trying to punch it open. As Peter's trying to punch it open, he dodges out the way. Basically, him telling the team to back up, that I have a plan. Him taking out the duffel bag and opening it up, us seeing a black goop canister. Basically, Robin saying, "What is that? Is that the symbiote you were talking about in your universe?" Basically, Peter saying, "Yes." him basically opening up the symbiote and letting it evolve over him, pretty much making it evolve over him. As we see McGann and Martian Manhunter escape the ship by phasing through it, they see the ship blows up. But shortly after, we see pretty much, Kid Flash and Robin are grabbed at the last minute, and they're pretty much what was it? Sweet, so very much they're pretty much saved when a black suited Spider-Man with different looking symbiote symbol pretty much jumps out of the ship. As we see Peter swing out of the ship with both Wally and Robin, we pretty much see that Wally and Robin jump out of the ship, but we slowly see Robin and Wally and Peter get hit in the chest by some sort of mental stab wounds, killing all three of them, making them fall into the ground, dying. And basically also seeing Martian Manhunter punch a hole through McGann's stomach, killing her. But McGann wakes up, it being shown, as all of it being a dream. They get told that it was all a trained exercise and it just went wrong. Basically, Peter being confused. Peter, the team are confused about how this even happened, and the training exercise just went wrong. Basically, also, sorry guys, I am gonna really bring the symbiote in the Young Justice universe, Universal, because it's a Universal, but I won't bring the actual Venom, but I will bring Venom's doppelganger and give it to Peter later on in the series, or the What If. Now, pretty much we get shown that it was all a training exercise and it just went south, basically about how it was to train you into being able to function in the worst possible ways. Basically, us getting shown about the mission and about how, it all went down. And basically, from that episode, basically Peter is shocked by this, and also, he has the same memories, and Peter is incredibly shocked by this. And basically, him also, for some reason, him feeling that pain, him feeling him dying, it going through his chest, everything, him feeling pain. Now, basically, we see pretty much the rest of the team gets told that it all went wrong, and that, you guys did okay. Now, basically, we get switched off at the end of the episode, and I'm gonna leave it off here, guys. So, pretty much the team is literally scarred by this event, including Peter, and basically, Peter is scarred because, he merged, now he has a slight type of, Venom type personality now in his body now. Now, it will go away later on in the series, but still, it might affect his actions later on in the series. Now, guys, sorry, because I couldn't do episode 7 since I'm literally tuckered out, and also from this point on, I have no real idea how I'm gonna change episode 7. But yeah, guys. So basically, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys like and subscribe. Part 6 will be episode 17 and 18, and pretty much about 3 more parts of this whole series. 3 or 4 more parts of this series. I'll be done, and I'll be already on season 2 of this series, or this What If. Now, basically, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you guys later. Bye, and as always, guys, have a blessed day.